doing, what they may be doing now, and what, if any, role regulation that we create needs to dovetail with that. So absolutely it will be a piece of the work that we do.
Well, the only reason I mention those two issues is if we're looking for a framework, if we can define the principal residence under the Income Tax Act. Someone's got the munchies over there.
Good thing we're not talking about
this is not the marijuana report.
He's making me very hungry. I gotta
keep going. Ignore the man behind the curtain, Councillor President. Just keep going.
Do they have a kosher symbol on them?
Yeah.
James, you talk and they break out the party mix.
Look at the mirror.
It's on its way around. It's on its way around. It's very, very good for you.
I just want a warm saucer of milk.
Sorry, James.
Oh no, that's quite
Sorry,
right.
James. We have our priorities.
Yeah, no. When you got the munch, Halloween has come early to City Hall. So the only reason I mentioned those two is those are legal frameworks that exist, and when it comes to definitions, which many deputants refer to, I'm assuming we will refer to those in helping us guide the future.
Certainly through Mr. Mayor, and it's a great question, Councillor Pasternak. Specifically where there's legislation that's relevant to this issue, and as best as we can to make things easily understandable and consistent with other legislation, we do endeavor to do that. We certainly don't want to reinvent the wheel, and I do think there are opportunities. Any existing frameworks that apply or dovetail, we'll absolutely have a look. Bearing in mind, we do want to have maintain some sense of understandability for those people who are in the industry. But your point's very well made.
Thank you, Councillor Pasternak. Other questions of staff? All right. If that is the case, then we are ready to have speakers, and I'm going to put myself first on the list this time, and just simply because I want to move a motion that might address some of the comments we've heard, and I'll just get the clock started here. Yep. And it is in front of you, and it requests requests the Executive Director of Municipal Licensing and Standards and the Chief Planner to be directed to report no later than the end of the second quarter of 2017 with the proposed regulations for short-term rentals. And in moving that, I want to commend the staff for what I think was a very informative and a very good report. And I think I've heard a number of the deputants, regardless of their concern about short-term rentals, say that the report was a step forward, and I agree with that. But I think there's an urgency to this that has been growing, and I think we want to be in a situation where this time in this area, we don't let it get to the point where it's somehow a crisis that I know for some people locally they might argue it already is, but I guess what we don't want to see is those crises get worse or that they are spread more across the city. And there's a commercial unfairness to this too. I mean, I think there's a quality of life issue here, a character of neighborhoods issue, and there's a commercial fairness issue, and there are a host of other issues that include as well, I suppose, questions with regard to people's basic safety and well-being. And so I will not speak for long except to say that I hope and I'm confident that, you heard the gentleman get up and speak from Mars, who said, and I agree with him, and I don't just agree with him because I had any hand in it at all. I think what we did with respect to the transportation issue was something that was the first of its kind in this country. It is being looked at, I can tell you from the inquiries we've had by people around the world, as an example of how you can, on the one hand, protect the public interest and do something that is good for citizens in the broadest sense, and at the same time try to achieve a competitive balance in a world that's changing very rapidly, and finally not appear to be trying to push change away, to embrace change and say that we're going to benefit from it instead of letting it either rule the roost over us or other industries, or take advantage of the public interest. And so I'm just confident that we need to achieve that same balance this time with this issue, which is different, as a number of the deputants told us, but that our staff is totally up to the job between Ms. Cook and Ms. Keesmaat and everybody else, they're totally up to the job of having yet again Toronto do something. And we have the benefit of a number of other cities, including Santa Monica and others, and they're very kind to be here today, who've acted previously. But that's fine. We'll take all of that and take our own circumstances and our own common sense and our own incredibly professional, excellent staff in planning and in licensing, and we'll have a policy back, I hope, if my motion carries, by the second quarter of next year, so we can get on with reassuring the people we represent in the broadest sense that they have choice, that they have the broadest range of technology and service available to them, but that there's also fairness and due consideration for the safety and well-being of employees and of neighbours and of the people at large. So I hope you'll support this motion and support the recommendation, which really is to move ahead. I've just tried to provide a bit more precision in terms of the timing. Thank you very much. 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Are there others wishing to speak on this? Okay, well, if not, then we're ready, I think, to put the question. And we have first the motion that I made, which is up on the screen. And it is dealing with the timing matter, as you know. So I'm ready for the question then, if you are. All those in favor? Recorded vote.
On the motion to amend, all those in favor, Councillor Ainslie, Councillor Holland, Councillor Crawford, Councillor DeGiorgio, Councillor McMahon, Deputy Mayor Minnan-Wong, Mayor Tory, Councillor Palacio, Councillor Pasternak, Councillor Robinson, Councillor Shiner. Motion to amend carries unanimously.
Okay, and then that's it?
That's it. The
Okay.
original rec was to receive.
Oh, okay, okay, so very good. Thank you very much. So we have 2 items left.